Don't worry, it's not live, so it doesn't even matter. So.
Oh man.
Oh, perfect.
Audio is recording first. 3, 2, 1. Cool. What's up, everyone? How's it going? One familiar face in this room. Josh Wingrove's back in the room. He was just here. What was that, like a few weeks ago? Something like that.
Something
nice.
like that.
All right.
Yeah.
You're a band virtuoso like myself. You just kind of maybe it's a band slut. I think you're just a band slut.
No.
Studio musician.
I play with a lot.
Yeah.
Of people.
Studio and stage musician, whatever the fuck. Dude, just anytime you can play, right?
Gun for hire,
That's
know.
how I am, dude.
I like to play with a lot of people.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, do a lot of different projects.
Josh likes to play with people, just so you guys are aware.
Yep. Big time.
So I'm sitting in the room right now with the band Poetry No Prose. I'm sitting with Josh Wingrove, Ryan Garrett, and Jacob Reese. It's Reese, right?
It's Riss, actually.
Is it actually Reese?
It's Danish. So at some point, some guy in my family was like, "Screw you guys, I'm out. My last name's Riss now."
Reese. Okay.
So the from where it's from, it should be pronounced Reese.
Well, because it's R-I-I-S, right?
2 eyes,
right?
like in your face, yeah.
Okay.
And so it should be Reese, but it is.
And I think actually, I
Riz.
think Jason Ford's to blame for that one because I think I asked him.
He
about
does,
it.
but I don't correct him.
I
Shout out
asked
to
him
Jason
about- what up,
Ford.
Jason Ford. Oh, we're starting already with that.
Yeah,
We're starting
yeah.
already with that.
He's a great guy.
So Jacob Riss.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of people just call me Jebby or
Yeah,
Jebs.
Jebby. Yeah, Jebby. That's how I know you for sure, dude. So Poetry No Prose. How did you guys? Maybe I mean I'm not like very cinematically inclined or anything like that, but like is that from something or how do you come up with that? What is that?
Jacob.
So when we started as the Three Amigos, that was super rough sketch for the band name.
Okay.
We wanted to come up with something good and something unique, and so what we do is instrumental music.
Yeah.
And so prose is, literature that's short, sweet, to the point. It's more like a document or a typed out essay kind of medium, and then poetry is from the soul, something different, something changing, something avant. And so we're poetry. We take our time with it. It's improvised, it's weird, it's out there. You're not gonna get a set prose every time.
No prose. Okay. See,
Yeah.
I didn't know what prose was, which is weird because I'm an English buff and I didn't.
See, that'd be the two different writing styles.
Poetry No Prose.
And there was nothing online for it.
How do you? That's okay. All right, dude, I've definitely.
Rule number 2.
That's definitely been the deciding factor for me a few times. It's like, okay, I have this really good idea, and then you get online and it's like, fuck.
Been done.
Fucking 20 of 25 other links for different bands on different websites and shit, dude.
Right.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've definitely been in that boat. How long have you guys been a band?
Well, I just started with them
4 months ago, or summertime.
Yeah, right in the beginning of the summer.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Beginning
Say
of
about 4 months.
And then was it just you two before that, or was it?
Derek Vigil was.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Shout
Derek.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, what up, Derek? Nice, man.
So Ryan and I used to play when we were kids, like 20s something.
Okay.
Younger than that, man. 10th grade.
With Billy.
With Billy Hamilton.
With William.
Yeah. That's where we first started
J.
jamming.
Hamilton, whatever.
Nice, man.
Shout out to Billy.
Billy.
The blind man.
It's the shout out
It's
podcast.
a shout out.
That's just pretty much what it is.
But so he played drums for us.
Yep.
And Ryan was like one of the first. When in high school, junior high, you play with people and it doesn't
Chemistry
mix.
builds, man.
Yeah.
And then that first time you meet someone, you're like, oh shit,
Like,
we
oh,
hit
fuck.
the A together, right? Yeah. And then you move on from that. And, we fell out just basically because I was broke. Being a musician's expensive. Driving to gigs, having gear. But I ran into Ryan. We said, let's see. It was about, I want to say 2 winters ago. In 2017, we saw each other.
Okay.
And it was like, we need to get back at it. And so I started flexing my chops. And he brought Derek in.
Okay.
Out of the blue, brought an electric kid in. And was like, I brought a drummer too, man.
I
was
ran
like,
into you
oh,
at
shit.
HQ. Yeah, that was cool.
Shout out to
Came
HQ.
I came in to get some food, and you're like, hey, you still jamming? Yeah. Want to be in a band? Okay, let's try to figure something out. Yeah. And it wasn't too long after that Derek came by, started drumming for us, and then we started putting some stuff together. And before you know, we're like, hey, let's just try to get out there and play shows.
That's
That's
right.
how you break the ice.
I remember it. You brought your drum pedal.
Yep.
And that's where that's why our structure is so simple at that point, because all we had was 4/4 kick snare.
Just
beat.
simple metronome times. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man. That's a really fucking cool like history. Actually, I didn't know.
Thanks.
Fuck, I didn't know you guys jammed with Derek. That's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was talking to him. I was actually talking to him the other day. Actually, I was talking to him the other day about some engine work on my car, this and that, yada yada, whatever.
He's a pro. Shout out to Vigil's Vinyls.
Yep.
Oh, hey. I'm actually gonna have From Ash to Stone on here coming up.
Awesome.
I
I'll
don't
be
think
there
we've set a
too.
date yet.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Josh will be back, you slut, dirty band slut. Josh will be back
A
again.
phenomenal drummer. You gotta have him.
Amazing. And speaking of drummers,
Thank you.
Back to Derek, dude. I was talking to him, and
Well, he's playing guitar now.
he's
shredding,
he does
bro.
all the shit, dude. He does all the shit.
All
It's so
the
cool, man. He's actually making shout out, man. He's gonna make the banner for my podcast.
He's really good.
Oh, there
It'll
you
look
go.
great.
He's way
Yeah,
good.
there
It's
you go.
gonna look so
too,
sick,
yeah.
dude. I think he's actually printing that up like this week. So should have it on before, and then we're gonna have them on. They're gonna From Ash to Stone has a music video coming out, and they have a single coming out also. So we're gonna have them on and
My
talk
Retaliation.
about that shit.
Hell
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won't you
You
be
know.
here for the?
Yeah, I play-
Reason From Ash to Stone too,
Yeah, I
dude.
play bass.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I have the fucking band here already.
I
bro.
got a pretty good history with Derek as well.
So
Yeah.
you'll be back. So you'll
Yeah.
be back then. Word. All right, man. Well, that's fucking rad. That'll be sick, dude. That's gonna be a good podcast.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be a band slut too. I have some offers, and I'm just like, I'll just keep it simple with 2. Try to get it 50-50, because if you start spreading yourself too thin, Josh knows exactly how that gets, man. It's rough, man.
Don't ask me how I do it.
Heard, buddy. I'm in 3 myself, So.
Yeah. Good. Shout out
Well,
to you.
right, man.
I know how that shit goes,
And
man.
actually, I wanted to know, it's Ford and Fossil, the records, and
Presley Avenue.
which I haven't seen then.
Presley Avenue
Avenue.
is kind of like a reform of Good Morning Tonight, but
Okay.
Which I have seen.
and Lane Dennison is singing for us now, the drummer for Records.
Oh, Lane's a cool motherfucker.
Dude, like hybrid shit, man. There's all this crazy hybrid band shit going on.
Musical
This is
musicians.
a
People are
crazy
just
room.
jumping.
scene is
It's
back.
getting
The
mixed
scene is
Dude,
back.
it's crazy. And it's that's why I started doing this. It's like we have to get people in the room and like start
Exactly.
connecting, like I didn't know both of you guys. I didn't know you were in From Ash to Stone. And I
Yeah.
guess
Oh, yeah.
I probably
He's a
did,
founder,
man.
aren't you?
Yep.
I probably did know that. I don't make connections very well, man.
Yeah.
And I fucking don't associate very well. But
It's all
that's
good.
another reason why I'm doing this kind of shit, is just
Bass.
trying to make sure that
Typical. Like, who the fuck?
yeah, dude, and your bass rig is fucking sick, by the way.
Thank you.
Did
Thank you,
you
man.
put the lights inside of that thing?
I did.
Okay, for anyone that doesn't know, he plays. Is it a 610?
610
It's a
Ampeg.
610.
Yeah.
It's an Ampeg 610, and
Pushes air.
everyone knows what an Ampeg 610 is like. If you don't,
Classic.
Pushes air.
if you don't, you're doing it wrong. But he actually, you cut out the front of the cab.
I
or
just
something?
removed the grill out of it, and then
Okay.
I installed my own LED light strip.
Dude, it's sick.
Yeah, I
I
was
saw
trying to
that.
make
I
it
was
as
like,
clean as I could.
Yeah,
and,
it looks fucking great,
Dude,
man.
he
Thanks,
did
man.
the same for my pedal board. Just show up to
Yeah,
practice,
I
and
saw
Ryan's
the
like,
pedal
I
board,
just
too.
DIY'd your pedal board. It's heady as fuck. I was
Yeah.
like, no way.
My first rig I ever got, I did that with tiny little, what's like a 115 practice amp. I did it with that, and from that point, that was it.
Oh, that's-
every
that's your
cat-
look now,
yeah,
huh?
yeah.
You're like, no, that's gonna
I'm
happen.
pretty sure I'm gonna do that with every single cat.
You kind of develop those like, it's weird I mean, I guess not really weird. We're artists, so like at a certain point you kind of develop like a signature,
Style, yeah.
a style, a kind of a style.
Well, that's
like
what brings you to be who you are, because I'm inspired by all those people and their styles as musicians.
definitely,
and,
definitely, and
Right.
even like your own things, like you decided on a fucking whim to put lights inside of a cab, and then you stepped back and you were like,
yeah.
that's it for me, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm all in on that.
Yeah.
Like with me, like I buy, I have obsessions with white instruments. I don't know what the deal is, but like my truth kit is white and green. My guitar is white
Yeah.
and black. Like I don't know, dude. I fucking and it's super generic, but like the white Les Paul with like the gold hardware. I'm like, I don't know. I want it, but I don't really want it. But I just want it because it's like it's white, dude. I'm like, I want to. That would look sick on my wall. I don't know. I don't even think I would play it, but like
Didn't you have that
It's your
white
style. It
a
makes
Crush
sense,
drum
yeah.
set for a minute too?
I still have it. It's out in the garage. That truth kit. Yeah, I
Yeah,
still play
the
that.
truth
thing.
kit, yeah.
I played that at the Firefly this last weekend.
Yeah, that's where I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a sick
Yeah.
fucking show, dude.
The green rim on the tops, dude. It's a tight.
Yeah, the white.
That
and
was a
green.
great show that night.
That was a fucking.
Props. If for those of you who weren't there, Matt was supposed to play a show and then ended up running sound all night and played a show.
And providing the PA, basically. So. But shout out to
Two
the Firefly
sets.
regardless.
Dude, we love the Firefly.
It was such a sick show. It was super successful, and if you missed out, hopefully they'll do it again next year because it was sick. It was 2 days, and both days there were just fucking people there, dude. It was like a straight up party both days, man.
Yeah, it was a
it
blast,
turned
man.
out, dude. It fucking turned out. I was not expecting
bringing in
that
Denver
shit.
bands. They're expanding the acts that they're getting to go through there. We met Wheels. Shout out to them.
Yeah,
they were a great act. It's
What
a
was
fun place. I think it was one of the first places we did a show at. So you never know what to expect, but
yeah.
the fucking front played out there, like
Right? Easy Side's played out there.
Yeah,
Shout outs, guys. What's
everybody,
up? If you guys ever come across these podcasts, what's up, guys?
shout out, especially the
always.
front, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Jeez.
Fucking mad respect for those guys, dude.
Hannah Green's
Yeah.
an amazing
Yeah.
bass player. Sorry, bud.
No, none taken, man.
But great set too. We played short, I thought.
Yeah,
we did
and,
the Ghostbusters. That I don't think anybody saw
Ghostbusters.
coming out of anywhere. We try to play like a new something out there. We do covers rarely, but
Yeah, dude.
We have to do it with our own spice and our own version of it. We can do it where people recognize it, but it's going to be our own way. That's just the way it goes.
I think that was the second time I've seen you guys play. I think the first time was up at Gruner Brothers, actually. Yeah,
I remember
Shout
that.
out to
Shout
Gruner
out to
Brothers.
them, dude.
I've mentioned them on like every fucking podcast that I do, dude. And
Gruner
I
Brothers.
have to because they're so sick, dude. Those guys up there are so awesome. And like, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I'm really not. I just like their beer. And
They make way good beer.
They're super fucking cool people, dude.
That's
so,
it, yeah.
and-
Hometown.
AOK and
Yeah.
Devilito has been at a PNP
Oh my
practice
God,
or
dude.
two.
I
Devilitos.
went to Gruner Brothers tonight after I got off work and had myself a Mangolito, dude.
There you
Straight
go.
out the tap.
Mangolito,
Love that beer.
They're
dude.
way good.
What, you're not feeling Mangolito?
you got to do the Devilito if you do.
We finished with Devilito. I started with mango because
Okay.
it's got the flavor.
Oh.
right?
Mm.
Yeah.
clear the palate.
Yeah, so you get
Okay.
that nice, fresh, fruity flavor,
the
and then
palate.
after you get loosened up, then you just start going hard. You can't go at it.
And I'm beer snobbing over here with $9 Rolling Rocks.
We're all green cannon right now.
Yeah.
Man.
$9 at Second Street. Shout out.
Yeah, 902.
Shout
I
out.
think. Me and Alex just bought one the other night there. That's fucking hilarious.
But speaking of Gruner Brothers, our next show, then for those of you that watch, for the reason why I'm wearing the stupid Santa hat, no, I don't hate Thanksgiving. I'm not one of those anti-Thanksgiving people.
I don't know why we didn't start there. We should have started there. It's like you wearing this weird one-on. People are definitely gonna wonder about that on the first like 30 seconds of this.
Right.
And then
The
we're
Santa
gonna,
Claus
if we're
hat.
here like fucking this far in and finally talking about it. So what's going on with the Santa hat?
December 18th is the Poetry No Prose,
Oh.
Toy Drive, Secret Santa, Ugly Sweater Extravaganza.
Whoa.
Poetry No
Yeah.
Prose is gonna play. I'm trying to get Jason Ford to come in and maybe lead in some carol singing with everybody. Ugly Sweaters everywhere. We got Mouthful, shout out. Wind City Sweets and Treats, shout out. Gruner Brothers, shout out.
Is that up at Gruner Brothers?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's
December
gonna be
18th?
huge. December
Yes, sir.
18th. We
Okay.
want to start
Whoa.
around 6. We'll have some Christmas themed jams, kind of like how we did the Ghostbusters, and we do Wipeout.
Dude, nice.
Carol the Bells.
Carol of the Bells is one we've started. I think we get a couple other ones by that
Wow.
time. But the best part is it's a toy drive, and Gruner Brothers is going to reimburse you for any toy brought for the toy drive in the form of a free beer.
Oh,
The
cool.
way I see it,
Dude, that's rad.
if you get it, you spend $10-12 at Toy Town, support a local toy shop. Drive up a block, go to Gruner Brothers, get half of that back in free local beer. Watch a local band play and see everybody in the ugliest sweaters we can find at Walmart, the
yes.
Gap, anywhere.
Yes.
I don't know what Lisa at Wind City Sweets and Treats is going to do, but I'm hoping there's like gingerbread cookies and stuff like
That's
that.
awesome, man.
I think it's going to be a great show. It's a way to end the year. And
Is there promotion for that yet? Is there flyers out or anything?
no, we're going to, so we have it's kind of set up at Ryan's house as the current studio.
Okay.
We've had many.
Yeah.
Quite a few. Probably like 2 or 3.
Is that what you were talking about tonight when I was talking to you and you were like, we're getting set up for pictures?
Yeah.
So is that spoiler alert? Should I spoiler alert?
No,
that?
I mean,
Okay.
we're trying.
All right.
If we can get everything taken care of, I can make a little flyer poster, hang them up
dude.
downtown, different
Okay.
venues.
Toy drive. at
Toy
Gruner
drive.
Brothers.
It's for the children.
Dude, that's so sick. Good job, man.
uh,
Way to go. And like, learning like Christmas themed songs and shit, man. Super progressive.
Thank you.
You guys.
Thank you.
I think Electric Light Orchestra or like Lindsey Sterling. Think that kind of like a contemporary jam version.
I think the closest we ever got in records to doing a Christmas song, we did that Christmas song by Blink-182. We covered that.
Okay.
We did that one. We covered that one, and it's like, I mean, it's a Blink song. It's totally inappropriate, and like the only reason why it's a Christmas song is because it's about Christmas Eve. But I mean, that's really the only Christmas related part of it. But but we did that for a little while. But I don't know, man. That's fucking sick, dude. I've always wanted to do like punk rock renditions of Christmas songs and do like a Christmas, even like an acoustic thing somewhere, you know, and like have Lane playing like some Jingle Bells or something like that for the snare stuff. And
punk rock Christmas album. That sounds sick as fuck.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've always had that idea.
That'd be great.
Fucking, I don't know, dude. I'm lazy. I don't play enough. I get big ideas and then don't fucking act on it. Maybe that's one of my downfalls. Maybe I don't know, dude.
I get there sometimes.
Just don't forget them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I do this. So now I'm recording it so I can just watch back.
There
and
you
go.
go.
Oh fuck, that's
right.
right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fucking documenting everything, man.
Boom.
So in Poetry No Prose, Josh, I've noticed that you don't play with the snares on your snare drum.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
What's that about? Where'd that come from?
I don't know. It's just sometimes I tune my drum a little higher and then I'll turn my snares off. Sometimes I feel like it's better for the acoustics in the room.
Okay.
Because then you can hear the cleaner bass tones come through. They're not rattling my drum. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Same thing with the guitar. It's not rattling my snares.
Okay. That makes sense, man.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do something with the snares off on the snare drum, but I never really knew how to incorporate something like that. But you just fucking went for it, dude. It doesn't, like, first time I saw you do that was up at Gruner, actually, when I saw you guys the first time, and I was like, I think I even walked up to you and I was like, yo, buddy, your snare's off. And you were like, I know. And I was like, all right. And I walked away, and then, it was like, and I felt weird. I was like, he knows that his snare is off. I shouldn't have to tell him, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You know? But yeah.
But yeah, like let's say if my snares were on that day, you remember how the acoustics are in that venue?
Yeah, I mean, the ceilings are straight up and down, metal rafters, and
with all those people in there, a
snares
on would have been a really sharp sound for that venue.
It would have, yeah. See. So, shameless self-promotion, Ford and Fossil has a show up there this Friday with the Bones of J.R. Jones. I've said
excited.
it on every episode so far. That shit's going to be fucking lit. He's so
Bones
good.
Of J.R.
So
Jones.
you guys are opening and JR's closing?
Yeah, we're opening.
So where's he from?
Man, I don't remember. I think somewhere east-ish.
East Coast?
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know. I could be totally fucking wrong.
You just say the Bones of J.R. Jones, and I imagine like some 80-year-old dude walks up there with the steel guitar and the power
No.
of the devil.
I think by the picture I've seen of him, he looks like he's probably don't hate me, dude, if you ever come across this. Like mid-30s, probably. I don't know.
30s, okay, so he's in our...
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'm a little bit older than the boys.
I'll have to show you guys some of his music. It's fucking good, man. He's like really soulful, bluesy kind of shit. I don't know. I'm not like, it's not particularly my cup of tea, but it's still like when I listen to it, I can appreciate it because it's fucking good. You know?
Nice.
You guys know how to. You know, we can all appreciate good musicianship.
Absolutely.
It's like the new Tool stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, controversial here.
Dude,
okay?
don't even do. I don't think I can go Ryan back. Anything bad
Ryan's an
Tool.
epic Tool fan
go
too.
for it.
Man.
It's okay. I know how to ease into this. I've had this conversation, so I know how to ease into this. It's the same thing. Like, I don't know. It's just Tool, but it's let me start off with this. Tool has never been my cup of tea, right? Just so there's that at the top of everything.
You didn't see him when they were in town?
No.
Like
So the new album, they're not your
and
cup
the
of tea
eyes and
for
the
14
lasers.
minutes each
I just
song.
went because it was a show.
I just
You're like,
Well, I super
End it.
super appreciate the musicianship. Like that's what I'm getting at. I think they're fucking phenomenal musicians. I think the the vocals are crazy, and I love their production style. And I think the songs are, like you said, some of them are fucking weird and creepy sounding, and just they do these really cool build ups, and I can appreciate all that shit. It just it just doesn't strike me, you know. And I don't know. It's just
Tempest is my favorite
kid,
song.
Man. I'm a punk kid.
Right.
I get you. There's no upbeat. There's no.
Yeah. It's all very very like fluent
it is.
Kind of which is like I said again super cool. I can't write shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like someone hands me a guitar and I'm like C G D F, you know, like I'm just doing the fucking immediately go into punk chords and just okay cool, this guitar sounds great, you know.
See, and not very PMP. You know, nobody ever goes off on some crazy impromptu guitar solo in Tool, and that's one of my favorite things about any music group in general would be the solos.
Yeah, for sure.
They're very mathematical,
Drum
and that's
solos,
why they
bass
do what they
solos,
do.
guitar solos.
I don't know. I can't solo worth a shit. It's really impressive actually watching you play guitar because I don't know. How long have you been playing guitar, man?
I started when I was like 4 years old, Dad, if you ever listen in.
If you ever come across.
Shout out to my dad and my mom, but he used to keep an acoustic guitar in our sauna downstairs, and I would sneak in and I'd play it. And I asked him if I could play it. He's
That's
like,
when you were like 4 years old, you said?
4 or 5. When we moved
dude.
into our new house in PV, so I was about 4 or 5.
So that was so your life with guitar is kind of like my life with drums. Like I started playing drums when I was like when
open.
I was
sorry, bud.
4 or
just
5 years
open
old.
stringing it. I bet just wailing. Just who gives a shit?
Just getting up there and it's probably just I don't remember really, but like you know getting up there probably just smashing cymbals and hitting the drums and fucking.
It's important, even just the little motions that you make and the ideal of even wanting to.
Absolutely, man.
To that medium.
It opens up the left brain shit, man. Like it
artistic side,
It really it just helps you start expressing. And I don't know, I'm no fucking doctor, I'm no scientist, I'm no researcher, but I have read articles.
But you're a musician.
Yeah. So I have experience, but
I'd say so.
Got some fucking miles, dude. But, I've read articles that say, kids that start out playing music or even like painting or coloring, you know, like really, really regularly, helps them through life, man. Helps them with their like their releases, you know, like they don't when they get mad about something, they don't fucking take it out on somebody. They
or
go
bottle it up. Yeah.
Like me, man. If I was ever when I'm coming up through junior high and high school, some girl pissed me off or something like that, come home, smash the shit out of my, played a yellow card or something and just smash the shit out of my drums and just get fast and angry.
Fucking A.
And
Still
then,
happens.
you know, yeah, exactly. Like 25 minutes later, all of a sudden I'm like not so pissed anymore because I'm sweating and fucking just kind of like I exercised, you know, I got it out. Maybe that's the bigger lesson here. Maybe it's just exercise in general.
Yeah, I mean you're burning mental.
As we're all
calories
sitting here
too.
drinking beer.
Shout out to exercise.
The fuck do I know?
Exercise, my man,
What
Ryan.
the fuck do I know? Yeah. That's awesome, man. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It just I'm a firm believer in getting kids started in music earlier.
Absolutely.
Who was I talking to?
That's the shit.
I was talking to somebody the other day. Sorry if whoever I was talking to comes across this and you don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, it was Maddie. I was talking to Maddie the other day, and her kid apparently has like a whole like section of just like music stuff, for like music toys and like gadgets and gizmos that make music sounds. And she said he like loves that shit. And was like, yes, good. Let him love that shit.
Yeah,
because it could really help him out later. You know,
it's awesome.
Yeah, don't hand him a tablet.
Yeah,
and hand him a phone and just stick him in the corner and let him stare at. And you know, it's sad how many kids come up. You see that so often now.
Yeah,
it's
just the new generation.
Any of you guys?
So
any of you guys have kids?
I do.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
One boy.
Oh,
and
cool.
He's the opposite of that.
How old is he?
11.
Oh man. Wow.
That's
okay.
right, man.
Wow. Good.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you.
Straight out of
go,
high
man.
school.
Nice.
Right into it. It's
Nice,
high school
dude.
life.
Wow. That's fucking nuts, dude. What's it like being a parent? Because I don't know, man. I've never had to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Man. I love it.
Shout out Brandon Garner. He's recently dadded.
Yes.
He's dadded up.
Okay.
All right.
I noticed
dude,
that.
his baby's
Brandon,
doing great. Him and
he
Abby are
knows.
doing great. So that's
Awesome.
fucking awesome, dude. It's cool
So-
to see.
Newborn?
He's like, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon. I think it was February this year.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
well, maybe a little later, March, something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Getting
but-
up there, yeah.
Not quite a
Nice.
toddler or something yet.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good for
it's
you.
like
Good for
7, 8
you.
months,
Congratulations.
something like that. Yeah. It's
Great.
It's cool, dude. It's cool to see, man. It's just something that again, not not my cup of tea. I love other people's kids.
You don't think it's your cup of tea until it happens, bro. 'Cause
And
that
that's
was me.
Yeah.
I was like, no, never, not gonna happen. And then it happened. I was like, this is the best shit.
Yeah.
It changes you. It does.
I just I love other people's kids. I love hanging out with other people's kids and fucking like, you know, playing games with them and shit. And then the cool thing about hanging out with your friends, you know, like your friend, you know, your friends are all parents and all that shit. Shout out to Ian and Steve and all those guys, Kaylee, Sam, all those guys. They're all doing this shit. I'm basically like the only one now at this point in my age group that's like doesn't have kids. But it's cool to yeah. There you go, buddy.
Cheers, man.
It's cool to.
I got you over there too, bud.
The show.
In my cynical opinion, it's cool to hang out with other people's kids because when they start crying or something goes wrong, it's just like handing off something. You're just like, all right. Okay, your kid's crying. I don't know what happened. They just started crying. You gotta go to mom now, and then I walk away, and you know. And then at the end of the night, I get to leave too. But like I said, that's my cynical opinion. I apologize. I'm not trying to be a dick.
You just gotta find the right woman. You can still do that.
Yeah. Getting sleazy with it, huh?
You know what? I gotta actually. They're calling me on stage. I gotta.
Yeah.
You know.
I gotta. Yeah. I can't do it.
He's crying. I gotta go. Here's the deal.
Oh shit. Baby monitor's going off in my ear.
Oh man.
No. Come on.
So your kid's 11.
Yeah.
Super into wrestling. He likes football.
What grade
he's
is
an
that?
outdoor
He's coming out of 5th.
Coming out of 5th grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did they? I don't know anything about the education system anymore because I've been out of school for so long.
Sure.
And I didn't do very well when I was in school, so I'm not, whatever.
Yeah.
But what do they still do music classes in 5th grade?
Yes, not very often. It's more of a volunteer thing. Yeah.
That's sad to hear.
If they don't have the teacher, they don't have the volunteer there, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
and
crazy.
in schools where it is happening and it's been a thing, if there's any sort of funding that needs to go somewhere else, you know where they're pulling it from? Music.
Yeah. And that's
it's sad.
That's been a pattern for decades. Dude. That's always been a thing with the school system.
Well, I mean,
that's why when you go into music class, dude, the fucking piano in the music class has been there since the fucking school was built because they can't fucking afford to buy a new one. And the carpet in the fucking music room is always the original fucking carpet that was from the and all the drums. I know this personally as being a fucking percussionist, coming up as a percussionist, dude. You probably know going through school and shit. You come into music class, dude, and the snare drums are. The head has not been changed. I mean, the heads are like hard as a fucking rock, dude. Like they haven't been changed. And it doesn't even make it. The snares on the bottom are completely loose, and there's only like 4 of them because so many have broken, and like, no one can afford to replace. And you can't blame the music teacher because I buy that shit, and you know how fucking expensive it
is. Expensive.
They try to get a whole band every 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
Get new heads for everybody.
That's kind of how it was in like elementary and middle school.
That's how it was for me too. Like I didn't come up with great gear.
In high school though, I feel like NC really took care of the band room.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
See, I didn't go to NC. So
you went to K-Dub?
I was Kelly Walsh, yeah.
Yeah, NC took pretty damn good care of the band room. Nice drums.
Really?
Yeah.
Shout out to NC. That's kind of where I learned. I feel blessed. I got to be in guitar ensemble.
Yeah, shout out to
Stan Curlin.
Stan Curlin, yeah, dude.
I started teaching myself guitar. That fool, was like, well, here's material. Here's how you actually do it.
He told me that I was playing incorrect when I went to his class.
You said you were playing incorrect?
Incorrect because I
Did he call you Hendrix?
Because he gave me a right-handed guitar and then I flipped it upside down. It's the same thing as I always get.
Oh, and
dude,
he's like,
no, that's wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah, and I started playing, and he's like, well, it sounds right.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I was like, so
I'm a left-handed bassist. I know I'm a unicorn.
Yeah. Where do we go from here? And he's like, I have no left-handed instruments in the class. Bring your own.
Yeah.
That's when I got a bass, and I said, music school.
That's why he's a band slut. It's a real problem in town. There's not a lot of bass
problem
players
in town
because you either start an orchestra and then that's what you do.
Yeah.
Or you deviate along some weird path, or maybe you are a true bass player, and it's not like they're, marching band doesn't have a dude out there playing Seinfeld,
right?
Some other dude carrying his Ampeg around there. That would be pretty cool, but it doesn't happen.
Speaking of Seinfeld, do you guys know like the bass line on that? Do you guys know Davey 504?
Get it.
Oh, dude, is that coming? Nice. All right. Josh just committed a murder on camera.
Yeah, he was coming to say hi. Friendly spider, probably not here to hurt anybody. Joining the podcast.
Yeah, he was trying to join the podcast.
He was trying to.
I probably should have just let him hang out.
Took his life. Unreal.
He's all like, I also went to NCU.
Destroyed.
Smash.
Do you guys know Davey 504 on the internet?
Yeah,
Never heard.
I would assume you do.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of him?
I don't think so.
He's
hilarious.
He's a bass player, and he's like, I don't even know. Should we even call him a bass player? He's like he's a goddamn robot, dude. I don't even know.
When your
I don't know.
fingers are 9 inches long.
Well, that's I mean, his fingers are crazy long.
What's his name?
And he plays jazz basses.
His name is
thinnest necks.
well, his YouTube handle is
shout out
Davey
to
504. Davey 504. Dude, if you ever come across this, Mister fucking laugh at 5 million subs. He's got like 4.5 million subs right now, dude. It's insane. He's a phenomenal bass player, dude.
Yeah.
He is a fucking like insane bass player. But where I was getting was with the Seinfeld intro. He does this. He does one of his segments. He goes online to like this, basically like this online chatting app or whatever, you know, where
chat roulette or something.
Kind
like
of,
that.
yeah, similar, but it's supposed to be with musicians, isn't it? I think it is, but it's something along the lines of that. And it's funny because on one of them, a couple of times it shows it, and a girl pops up on the other side, or like a girl and her friend pops up on the other side, and it shows him in his bed, and the covers are pulled over him, and you can just see the covers like going up on there.
Because he's slapping
Yeah,
the face.
but it's actually plugged in, and it's all and then the covers whip off of him, and it's just his bass. And he's
That's
just playing
pretty
the intro to Seinfeld. Dude, it's fucking. He does all sorts of hilarious content, man. His shit is fucking funny. If you guys haven't looked him up yet, you should check it out.
Never. I will subscribe.
I just started watching his stuff, and he's gonna make you slap like now.
Yeah.
Slap like now.
I could post that. I could post that on his thing, and he would probably comment. He'd probably take the clip and go slap like now and do his little thing. Yeah,
I've subscribed and sent a lot of comments, and I'm pretty familiar with the guy.
Has he ever replied to anything that you've done or anything? Or?
He wanted to do a collab at one time with
Oh,
all of these bass players, and he chose so many that he decided to go with, and because I didn't have a channel.
Oh
yeah, he's like, you don't have any videos.
You gotta have a channel, bro.
Well, yeah, and you gotta have
following.
Content,
bro.
Exactly. I had nothing going, and he was like, okay, so
that's a real game.
Damn,
now.
that's a bummer, dude.
It was, but he's.
But that's crazy that he fucking he was considering you. What the fuck, dude?
It was through Instagram, actually.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was through Instagram where
I mean, it makes sense, dude. Makes sense just from the 40 seconds you played that bass over there. That. Way better than anything I've ever done, man. I don't consider myself a bass player by any means, but I couldn't do anything like that. I'm like straight pick. I play bass with a pick.
Nothing wrong with that.
Ryan does.
Shout out to pick
Depends
bass
on
players.
tone.
Yeah, dude.
Like he'll slap or thump.
I'm a drummer, okay. I just do what I can to get by.
Same.
I claim as being a drummer. Josh is a real fucking drummer, dude. He doesn't even know how to play guitar. Like, that's a real drummer right there.
100%.
Yeah,
all the skill ranks are in drum.
Yep.
Drum only.
How long you been playing, Josh?
Give a shit about.
I started playing drums when I was 8, actually.
Nice.
Dude, you said your dad bought you your first kit, right?
Yeah, we were. It was when I lived in Buffalo, New York, and we were going to this church at the time.
Dude, I asked you about Buffalo on the last podcast, right?
Yeah.
Close to Albany and shit. Yeah, okay.
We talked about it last time.
I saw that episode.
Yeah, shout out North Grant. Rest of the guys, what's up?
Yeah, this dude sold my dad a Rockstar Tama drum set, 1985, for $100, and had like 12 fucking cymbals.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it was the whole shebang.
Fuck yeah.
So my dad just taught me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just simple 4/4 beat.
That's where it starts.
Take it from there.
Here you go. I was like, all right.
Run with it.
Yeah, so I don't know how long that is. Like, what, 12 years later? No, 14 years later, I am where I am now, I guess. So.
How old are you now?
22.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, me too.
Who is this kid? Who is this kid you guys
He's the
found?
freakiest drummer.
Old soul.
He's
Old
some
soul.
young kid, badass as fuck.
Yeah, man, killing it, dude. Your guys is the Wipeout cover that you guys did.
Everyone loves it, dude.
It was great. It's
I like
fucking great.
Wipeout.
Can't go wrong.
And those, yeah, dude. You guys all know the fucking song.
Everybody
You guys all know the
recognizes
song.
it when
Yeah,
we first were like.
And for anyone that's
out.
not a drummer, if you don't know how that song goes, it doesn't ever stop. You just it's just pretty much constantly left right, basically with a couple accents
Dude,
on that.
And then it's Josh, and he hits a cowbell on the 3 and 2
Right,
and
he
you're
does-
like,
yeah,
what? Like,
Josh throwing in some crazy
he will,
shit.
like, so,
I
like,
love
the
that.
set pattern is,
Ding,
like, we
ding.
do it like they've heard it, we do it like they've heard it, and then, dude, on, like,
Oh,
the
yeah,
third or
he's
fourth solo, he does whatever he wants.
throwing in these. What is that? What's that silver dish that you have? What is that thing?
I've had that since I started playing drums.
Every single time I've seen, since I've met you, like since I've known you, you've had that.
That
thing
is the
on.
only thing that I've literally had since I've started playing drums.
What
No
is
way.
that?
It's a Zildjian alu bell, and they're fucking indestructible.
Alu bell.
It's
See,
it's made out of cast aluminum, and they're fucking awesome.
I have a Zill bell, which is like the brass, probably the brass version of that, like the gold one.
Yeah.
I have that one, and I use it similarly. I've turned upside down and use it as a dish. I did it at the Firefly show with Ford and Fossil, but I've never seen the aluminum one. Or is it aluminum?
It's cast aluminum, dude.
Cast aluminum.
The Zildjian alu bell is from fucking back when, dude. It's an awesome bell, though.
Had it your whole life and never.
It still plays.
Yeah.
He's got a cowbell, too.
No chips, no dents.
They're so thick. If it's anything like the Zill bell, dude, like they're thick, like
It is.
super thick. You could do some serious damage by like throwing one of those.
Oh
things.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I have family
I've
come
broken
over.
sticks on it.
Yeah. Exactly.
North Grants used it as an ashtray.
I'm not liable or responsible for anything that happens after this podcast.
It looks
okay?
like a nice ashtray.
Next
yeah.
time you're at a show
works
and you
well.
see a Zill bell flying across the room, that's not me. I did not provoke that.
It kind of reminds me of that part in Pineapple Express where he gets the ashtray thrown at his head.
His ear.
What we do in life.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Great movie.
That is an amazing movie.
was on
Speaking
Netflix
of
for a little
content
bit.
that you haven't watched, you need to watch Letterkenny. It comes up every podcast. Let's just
yeah,
get it out of the way.
All right, we can get it out
Your
of the way.
10 play,
Go
bud. You
ahead,
need to go
bring it
watch
on.
Letterkenny.
Yeah, that's what every person I talk to, man. I don't think I've talked to one person yet that was like, yeah, no,
I haven't
dude, it's
watched
not really
it yet,
worth
man.
it.
It's like
I still haven't watched it. I'm
so
a lazy
funny.
fuck, dude. I'm lazy when it comes to, especially like, I don't know, dude. Maybe it's a problem. Like
Sorry, it's
I get really stagnant sometimes, Like I watch, man, I've been on this cycle for a long time.
The
dude.
Office.
There's one.
That's
The Office.
and it's going away in
I
2020.
am
so
never
I
watching
can't
anything
You've never
else.
seen The Office?
I love The Office.
No, he
dude,
said he's
like-
never watching anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah.
yeah.
I've literally watched The Office seasons 1 through whatever the hell it is, like
I
4
stop at
times
7.
over.
I stop at 7.
So
I'm probably
sorry,
gonna
guys,
watch
the
it
rest
again.
of this podcast is just going to be us quoting Office lines because that's all we're going to do for the rest of the thing.
Bears beats Poetry
Dude,
No Prose.
It's next shirt design, dude. That's
That
your
would
next
be a
shirt
great
design.
one, dude.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. And then maybe like a,
But it's got to be beats like the Beatles.
and then like an
Beats.
outline of Dwight Schrute over the whole thing, just like an outline, like a silhouette. in
Dude,
the
that would
background.
sell until we got sued.
Yeah,
Right.
Speaking of which, Poetry No Prose does have new shirts available for
Boom.
$20. A concept designed by Josh Wingrove. Did you say only $20?
$20.
What? For tri-blend mesh. It even hides your beer belly.
Try blend mesh. I don't
You get
even know-
3XL. We have one.
Ooh,
Well, that's for my dad. My dad's a big guy.
big guy.
He's a Viking.
Nice.
Well, there you go.
I don't. What's tri blend mesh? What does that mean?
I don't know, but
Is it
it's,
soft as fuck?
I don't
It
know,
is
but
pretty
it's
soft.
Kicks ass.
Yeah.
It's very comfy.
So soft.
Yeah.
Supposed to fit the body well.
It does fit the body well. I also have mine.
Oh shit! We got double promotion going
Where
on.
did
in
you
this
get
room
that?
right now.
For only how much?
$20.
Josh, you better tell me you're wearing
$3.99.
one.
I'm in the
right now.
bank.
Let me see. Let me see. Are you fucking wearing one? Do it. Oh, he's not. He's not
Oh, he's
one.
wearing a.
It says,
It says drunk.
Oh, you
4.
drunk number 4?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I kind of like that.
Makes sense, man. It makes sense.
yeah, buddy.
Well, we just got him a couple weeks ago. It's fun when people wear them to band practice.
I think I said it on the podcast with Hated that I did with Colton and Jordan. Shout outs, boys. By the way, that show was fucking sick. I don't think I've talked to anybody about that show. Did any of you
didn't
guys
get
make it to that?
The
The show at
Hated
Butch's?
No.
The Hated Halloween show?
I couldn't go.
Oh,
I woke
dude.
up,
I was puking
Sunday.
and shitting. I
Oh,
had the
dude.
bug, man.
It was
Dude, I was not
so
good that
sick.
day either.
Dude.
It was gross, man.
I
It
heard
was
a lot of cool shit about it. I heard they had a little scream off contest at the end or
No.
whatever.
Yeah, they did. Unfortunately, I didn't make it for Day by Day or Get Bent. I have seen Get Bent. Those guys are great.
I
Yes.
love some
Shout
Get
outs to our
Bent, dude.
boys,
I got to
man.
play with those guys,
Yeah, I
actually.
met
Yeah.
their
He's great.
guitarist at
We
the
played with
Titty
them earlier
Club.
this
He's a
year.
pretty cool
Nice.
guy.
Who's that?
They're fun.
What's his name? The guitarist for it.
David?
Get Bent.
David.
David Johnson.
Met him
He's
at a
cool as
strip
fuck.
club. He's cool.
Shout out, buddy. Yeah, so I've seen them before. I've seen Day by Day before. Those guys are fucking killer too. But I was actually doing a podcast that night before. I think I was doing the North Grant one. Actually.
Yeah, it was.
That one.
That was
so.
a good episode.
But I did get to make it right as Colton and Jordan were getting up there, and those guys, dude, it was, man. And if you guys haven't heard have you any of you guys heard their stuff? Like the stuff that Colton did for them?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like the stuff they've been working on?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's so brutal.
I've heard a couple things, yeah.
Woo,
it
so
sounds
brutal.
badass.
It's just
I need to listen to all
gnarly,
of it.
dude.
Oh, it's sick.
It was fucking sick. It was fucking great. I don't know where I was going with the beginning of that tangent, but
I almost had a chance to do some bass with their stuff, honestly.
Really?
Yeah,
dude.
Oh yeah, in the earlier stuff, Colton's hit me up with like Bloated. He was sending me some Dropbox stuff, and was like, I want you to come in with your 5-string and do this bass stuff. Drop A.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, hit me up, let me know, type stuff, and then I don't know what happened. I just never got a ring. I was like, okay.
Well, there you go, Colton. There's your plug.
Yep.
The boy's waiting. So like, if you need work done for more hated stuff,
How low do you go for drop A?
Dude, and it's dropping the B down to an A.
It's dropping your low string.
Honestly, it's okay though,
It's on
because
the flat
from
string, yeah.
and from Ash to Stone, that's kind of what we're doing because we're in drop D. So I'm A D A. It's like it's
damn, dude.
It's sick.
It's low.
Just wait.
Yeah,
it's
low. Basses. He picked up the 2 that you use actively for PNP.
Oh yeah, Ernie Ball. It's a Music Man.
Do you have a
Stingray.
Music Man?
Yeah, Stingray.
Oh, it's a Stingray.
Yeah,
dude.
We pulled it out
Flea,
the other day. We switched it up. We did Fender, Stingray, Tone.
Oh, it's an actual Ernie Ball Music Man. It's not what's the other one, like a Sterling or whatever it is. It's not a Sterling.
it is a Sterling.
Oh, it is a Sterling. Okay. I'm just
I'm
wondering.
all looking at it too, like I have no idea.
I'm just wondering. Dude, those guitars,
it is.
For the longest time, I was convinced that if I ever like went out on my own and bought a bass guitar, I'm not a bass player, but they're nice to have. I always like to have one. I have a Squire P bass right now, but that's Brandon's. But Lane has mine right now. He's borrowing it, but I have one just because I just like to have them around. Like I do recordings and stuff here, by myself, and fuck not having a bass when you've done 4 guitar tracks and you've got guitars and drums and you play it back. And
no,
it's
this shit's getting done now.
Fuck is my bass.
Yeah, it's a fucking bass guitar.
There's a bass at my house for the same reason.
It makes
into loops.
It really makes all the difference, dude. It like I don't know. There's a definitely a I don't know. Bass is underappreciated, I think, in a lot of
circumstances.
Absolutely. But it's literally the cornerstone of every contemporary rap song and every pop song. I guess you're right. Yeah. Literally, it's the bass.
Without the bass, what would the song be?
They would if you
snare and vocals,
the bass out of a Cardi B song, it would be a chick yelling into a microphone for 2 minutes.
It would be horrible.
Think about it.
Well, it's already horrible.
Which shout out to Cardi B, but I'm serious. The bass makes everything.
Eat your fucking heart out, Cardi.
Eat your fucking heart out.
I think me and my records boys got you in presents. I'm just saying. Just in stage presence alone. If you want to go at it, I think we might have you.
I'll shred Cardi B any day of the week. Guitar, mono,
exactly.
Banjo.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's some Casper boys that have put you up for your money. Just saying, girl. If you want to try us, bring it on, dude.
Shit.
We don't fuck around out here in Wyoming, okay?
Wouldn't even waste my time.
It's like 8.5 degrees outside right now, and we're all just here surviving. So fuck y'all that don't think we're out here. We're out here.
We're pretty much. T-shirts. These guys, they got sweatshirts on because we're in and out.
Steelers, baby. Gotta represent.
Oh my gosh, it's been getting so fucking cold.
Yesterday was not even fair. What happened yesterday?
Brutal.
It's my day off. That's what happened. I'm sorry, everybody. I had a day off. God forbid the weather is decent for one day.
I work inside, so
it was. I work inside, but I have to, every once in a while I got to get on a forklift and unload a truck outside or something like that, dude. And it just, man, yesterday was not even fun.
No.
Like it was windy and cold today, but it wasn't like the wind wasn't as cold. Yesterday it was fucking bitter, dude.
It was like slap you in the face, walk outside and start coughing
it's
and
just
dying.
That little breeze.
Like,
you get that wind chill.
I got up and started my car and got into my car and turned the key on, and like my little, heads up display or whatever, said the temperature outside, it said 1 degree Fahrenheit, and it was literally flashing at me like, hey, you probably shouldn't be out here because you might die.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
1 degree, negative 10 degrees. I'm not sure.
When your robot is telling you that you should not be outside, maybe you probably should reconsider. I don't know. Why does the air hurt my face today? That's not even. Right. It sucks.
It was hard to start my car that day,
dude.
Mine took a couple tries.
Yeah.
In Casper, it's like it's 8 degrees feels like a negative 20 degrees.
Yes.
Wind chill negative.
You didn't even have to tell me
Yeah,
that. I wasn't
exactly.
gonna believe it was
Wind-
8 degrees anyway.
And it's like 60-mile-an-hour gusts.
If anyone
what? 60-mile-an-hour gusts.
If anyone in LA ever gets a hold of this podcast,
not
so
a
there's
gust.
a thing in the central part of the country in Montana, Utah, Wyoming, a couple other places, Colorado. So every once in a while, the upper parts of Colorado. It's called wind chill, and it's literally when the wind makes the air colder and it hurts your face.
It doesn't make sense to me though.
It
the
hurts
science
your
doesn't
face.
check out.
I don't get it.
If they say that the degree is this,
It
but
doesn't
the
check
wind
out,
chill is
bro.
this, shouldn't that just mean that the
The
degree is this?
the wind chill, right?
It doesn't make sense.
I
It's
don't
8 degrees
understand
out
that
there,
either.
and you're like, well, it's freezing. And they're like, well, actually, it feels like it's negative 14 degrees.
That's actually a really
and you're
good,
like, so then wouldn't it be negative
wanna
fucking
know-
14 degrees?
that's actually a really good point. What's up with that?
Well, and
dude?
also, a lot of people say that wind coming through warms everything up.
Bullshit.
That
I've
just
heard
Come
that.
to Wyoming.
I've heard that so much. It's
Bullshit.
going to get windy,
Yeah,
and that's what's going to
fucking
warm
false
everything
as
up.
shit.
Yeah.
Really, it's -2. You think the wind is going to warm it up?
You think pushing a fan across his desk is
yeah.
gonna warm
Like
anything up?
stoking the fire
It's
with-
so cold.
oh.
We're not even going to take our fucking Walmart shopping carts to the fucking.
And think about it, like on the other end of that spectrum, because when it's 90 degrees, the first thing that I want to do is set a fan up to push the hot air around. Like, no, I put a fan up because it's gonna cool shit off.
That's
Yeah,
It
no
cools
kidding.
things down. You know what I mean?
Well, it
Like,
takes that hot air and sends it somewhere
yeah,
else.
it just moves the molecules. It gets them moving faster, so they don't fucking. There's not as much atmospheric pressure in the room, and it cools things. Right? There's science behind that. I think. isn't
There's
there?
got to be.
Dude, the
There's
person that talked to
there's
is
got to
the
be
drummer.
science behind the weather somewhere.
Has to
dude.
be.
There's-
It's science.
We set bands up on Josh all the time, dude. You ever seen him?
We
like,
said it out loud. so
like
it's a
it
thing.
happens to you. July set, June set. Dude, they wear white shirts, and you get done with shows, and they're caked.
Oh, it's nasty.
I'm like, it's hot on stage.
It can
They
get
got,
moist.
like a Larry Bird bead sweat. Josh
Yeah.
is drenched.
Yeah, dude, it's nasty.
I've been sweaty before that.
Oh,
Yeah, I've
a
been
lot
sweaty
of
before.
dude, most of the time in summer, if you're playing drums, dude, and you're fucking playing drums, your shirt's coming off anyways. Like,
Yeah.
save
9
time,
times out
just
of 10.
fucking just one song in, shirt off. Like, all right, I made my appearance. I look decent. Now I don't care. I'm disgusting. I'm a fucking just gonna fat hog it up here and just fucking. Who cares,
Time to
dude?
not die
Yeah,
for the rest
exactly.
of the set.
I'm trying to survive up here. God damn it! Like, there ain't no fan up here. There's like a fucking 6-pack of beer and Gatorade and no
And
water
water.
at all. I have
Fuck.
no water.
Josh rolls through water,
I do when
especially on gig days.
you learn
Yeah.
that over the years for sure. Especially
I still have it. I need more water on gig days.
dude, especially after I turned 21,
I know you go.
I learned. Well, I mean, you learn it, but maybe not the easy way. I learned it the fucking hard way. That like when you go on stage, you don't just bring beers up there with you on stage. You can't just drink beer.
No.
You
Gotta
have to have water. You
Water.
have to have water.
Shout out to
dude.
water, the basis of all life. Thanks. for
What
that.
up, H2O?
Yeah.
You my H2O, baby. You have to have it because like there's all sorts of sugars and shit in beer, and like as refreshing as it might feel like off the top
At the
like,
time.
yeah, like
It's
right when you take a
dehydrating
drink,
you.
You're like, oh my god, that was so good, and then fucking 9 seconds later, you're like, I'm dying.
Thirsty again.
I have to sing the next song. I've definitely started experiencing that as a lead singer. Like I cannot go on stage anymore without having water.
We don't do vocals. So PAPs.
Yeah,
We don't
I've
have
noticed
to worry
that.
about that shit.
So, what is there any plans to do vocals, or are you just like strictly?
We talked
instrumental?
about
I
maybe
think
having
it'd be great to get
background
vocals,
vocals. I
yeah.
think would be fun. And that, what was that band at the Firefly? They had the audio samples that came on. I think those are really.
Oh, was it Black Market Translation?
Yes,
Oh, that was
correct.
them. Yeah,
They were
okay.
heady.
Hey, shout outs, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Black Market
heady.
You're
Translation.
talking
out
about
of
like
Denver.
the
Got
backing
you guys a
tracks and
sticker on
shit.
my
that
bass
they
stage
have
right
going
now.
on.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Well, and actually, we're like in a writing phase right now. I feel like not only has Josh adapted to the set, expanded to the set, and helped us really come up with a formula for every song. We have a couple we want to work on, but
Sure.
the next idea is writing.
Okay.
Now that we know what we can do, what can we do?
Yeah.
If this is what we had and we had to piece together, what can we build?
So,
If that's where we're at, like where are we going?
how long were you and Ryan together before Josh joined the band? Was
In
that a
Poetry No
thing?
Prose?
Yeah.
It was the 3-piece
with Derek.
Derek.
About a year and a half.
Oh, that's right.
Derek was
We
on the
talked about that.
drums.
my
And
bad.
then it was
That's
a 4-piece for a little while.
Derek moved to rhythm guitar, and then I moved to drums.
Okay, and then Derek just decided to do the For Mash the Stone stuff.
I think he
Yeah.
wanted to focus on his other projects.
That makes sense.
Honestly, I think he got a taste of the guitar and was like, dude, what the fuck am I doing playing drums? I shred.
This is fun.
I can shred.
guitar.
That's how I first met.
I'm
Derek
pretty sure
was playing
Derek.
guitar.
He's a guitar player by trade, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
He started
Guitar
playing
first.
guitar
We talked
first.
about that. We talked about that.
He's a great guitar player too.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
I have mad respect for good guitar players. I'm not very good at guitar because I'm a drummer. So like, I switched over. I'm the opposite side of the story, right? So I switched over to playing guitar, and dude, I like that's part. I think that's part of the reason why I struggle writing solos and stuff. Like I'm not.
But it's crazy you do both.
I come from a world of
You do it all.
fucking meat and potatoes, you know, like do God. There's
Right.
there's no leads in that. And so when you transfer that world to guitar, it kind of starts. And the first place your mind went was like, what can I sit on top of that?
I can't help
Scale,
it.
scale.
Yeah, like,
I can't help it.
and I'm not very classically trained in scales or anything like that either. So maybe that's
But
part of the problem
I'll be
too.
honest, I fucking suck at rhythm.
He'll look at
I
me
got
and ask me,
little-
what
I got
key,
little
what
hands.
scale?
I always
all.
wanted to be like Jimmy.
Always.
Never gonna happen, Jebby.
Shit, dude.
Got little fingers.
Well, okay. So, do you guys have music recorded? We should probably
Not right
plug
now.
your band
No.
since you guys are the ones that are on
Not
here.
not with Josh.
We
You guys
don't.
don't have music recorded with Josh.
Well, and
No.
even when we had recorded, it was like a cyclical thing.
Live.
Okay, so
We
here's
only
here's
have
a,
live sets.
Here's a
And old.
we'll take a
old
parallel
live
really
sets.
quick again because I already thought about it. But what happens when Josh moves next year? You're moving still, yeah?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
still in the plan.
You guys talked about. Not trying to like. Not
No,
trying to
no.
fucking dig or anything.
There's a couple other drummers in town.
Sure.
You know, we're not gonna give it up, but and then the idea is to really get heady content.
I know it.
out there. Paul Rush, shout out to him. He's also a great
Hello.
drummer that I vibed with.
Okay, word.
And it's I don't.
I think I
I'd
know
rather
Paul
not
Rush.
Talk about it.
Pretty
I'd
sure I know
rather
him.
Just
Was he a drummer in any other bands?
keep plugging. No, he's what Ryan used to call me was like a closet guitarist.
Okay.
Like I would
He's
just
a
play
closet
by
drummer?
myself. There's musicians out there that
Oh yeah,
aren't
dude. Oh yeah.
on the scene, so to speak, but they're phenomenally talented.
There's a lot of way good musicians in this town right
Oh,
now.
the tons, dude. Do you think there's
We're getting
a?
old, but we're out there.
Do you think there's a?
30 is not old.
I don't
man.
know. I don't know, man. Do you think there's like a correlation between? I'll go quote unquote the closet musician, and like anxiety for playing in front of people. Like, do you guys get anxiety when you play in front of people?
I've never.
I do sometimes.
I remember,
Me too.
I
Not
remember,
every time,
like,
but I
I remember
use it.
coming up as a kid, you
Yeah.
know, and like learning my craft and playing drums, and then getting into my first band, and was like, oh my god, like we can do songs, you know, and like you go through that thing, and you're like, wow, like I think we can play songs, and then all of a sudden someone gets a hold of you, or your guitar player happens to know this guy or comes across this guy, hey, we're looking for an opener. He comes back and he's like, yeah, so we have a show. I remember like the first few shows that I had and having like the
Same.
insane
The
amount,
first one, of course.
Yeah.
insane amount of anxiety,
Knee
like,
bending.
like crippling, dude, fucking
Yeah,
crippling.
the first few shows you'll ever play, yeah, those moments are pretty intense.
So do you think-
yeah.
And if it's a new band, a fresh band
Yeah.
that no one's ever seen before, it takes a lot. And I mean, I've had some before Poetry No Prose. I've had some good shows, and I've had some fucking bad shows.
I've had some
So,
nightmares.
when we came back,
I've had some
it-
living
yeah.
nightmares.
I think
dude.
the biggest thing about playing my first one that would make me so nervous wasn't just going up there and playing it and being nervous about playing, was the gear that I had to play.
Right.
Was
I would assume it's subpar.
as beginner
Yeah,
as it could
subpar.
be. Yeah.
It's kind of
And
funny to think about.
Subpar.
Like you're rigged.
I can't
you're
even
rigged
be
to
confident
tap.
with what
remember
I
that.
Starter
Oh, wow, dude. I totally remember that. Oh
See?
my god.
So if I had what I had now, stepping on that stage, I don't care if I sucked. I'd have looked
You would've
the
looked
part.
okay.
I'd be like, look at me, my 6'10".
That
That
is-
I fucking am. pay. Like,
that
what
is
the-
hilarious because
so
maybe
true.
maybe that dials into the anxiety.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 100%. I was like,
You don't
I have a
even-
PV
Yeah.
base.
It's
This
a
thing is
situation.
garbage.
You don't even but you don't want to admit that you know
Yeah,
your gear
sucks.
sucks. But then there's that time when you get that fucking
Yeah.
tube amp. You
Yeah.
get that
What
new
the
shifter.
fuck?
You
Oh, yeah.
get the new bass head.
Let's-
everything.
yeah.
You get
Yeah.
your first nice drum kit.
I don't have to turn up
Right.
to 10 no more, motherfucker. I'm at 4.
I'm at-
and I'm
You hear
cranked
yourself
the
sound
fuck
like
up.
that for the first
I got
time.
headroom for the first time. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
You get more confidence
Oh,
going on
dude,
stage.
it's
that.
And it's also
and people can
about,
respect
So,
your
yeah.
gear. You got gearheads looking at you going, "Oh, look what he's playing." Even if they don't respect your
Dude,
riffs, they're like,
Dude,
"That's a nice
Ryan
guitar."
is the best on gear.
I'm a
gears.
You and I
Gear
could
nut.
fucking
He's
you and I
gear
could
slut.
geek out.
I don't know, dude.
You and I
I've
could geek out,
I've
man.
seen some fucking people shred a fucking first act. I swear I have. It's happened, dude. It happens before.
It
I'm
happens.
confident.
But I think the first
With a practice amp and like an old broken guitar, you can. But I'm saying like
the first drum
it's your
set.
first show. And
The
you're
first drum
playing.
set that I had
Right.
after, like I grew up. My dad had a drum set for a long time, and he the reason why I became a drummer is my dad had a drum set for a long time, and because he came up as a musician also, and he stored it. Well, he stored it. He had it set up in my room as a kid, so like. It was just where it was at.
Obviously.
As I came up as a little kid, and there wasn't much in my room. It was like, well, he has a
You're
bed.
talking like toddler style.
Yeah, pretty much. Like before, like pre 4 years old, basically. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not
Wow.
not baby, obviously, but like when I was able to move to my room, I had a
Yeah,
bed
I
in
got
there.
you.
So like I don't know, maybe around like 3 or 4 years old, he had his drum set in there. And I can totally attribute that to the reason I became a drummer. Definitely, dude. I don't fucking remember where I was going with this.
The reason why you became a drummer.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely it. Is because there was influence for sure. The reason why I became a drummer is because there was influence.
There was a reason. There was a reason.
The first drum set I ever had. So the first
Yeah.
drum set I ever fucking had outside of my dad's. So that's where I was going. So. When I was a kid, my dad had a really, really nice Ludwig set in my in my room. That was his kit.
I like to say Ludwig.
The old Ludwig, yeah, the old Ludwig kit. He had a really nice Ludwig kit in my room.
Those nice kids.
And so eventually I grew up. I think he ended up selling it, unfortunately. But my very first drum set was a CB drum set. I don't know if you know it. Do you know anything about CB
I don't
drums?
think I've ever heard of it.
They're like it's like Pacific equipment kind of.
Right,
It's
right.
like
Okay.
so there's DW, right? And then
Right.
DW owns Pacific, and then
Yeah,
Pacific owns CB. Like,
Okay.
So
I've
it's
seen
like
CB.
it's like the third party company of a company.
I
Right?
got
you.
So, yeah.
Sure.
It's
My
the
first
act.
guitar was a great
it's still a
guitar.
DW.
It's
It's
literally
the first, it's the first act.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first act essentially, and
Walmart.
I feel that though.
that I never attributed having really shitty gear to being really nervous playing live.
But think about it.
Yeah,
You
that could
probably
be a
didn't
real
know at
thing.
your age, like,
No idea.
some of the worst
No.
sets I ever had. I showed them. I was like,
Sounds
so where's
good to
the
me.
shit? And they're like,
Yeah.
who the fuck do you think you are? Where's your shit? And I'm like, well, all I got's like a practice amp. Like, and they're like, then that's all you fucking got,
That's
bro.
all you got.
Yeah,
man.
we're not miking you up.
You better push them 30 watts all the way out of
So
that
all
amp,
of a sudden
dude,
you're
'cause
like, oh shit, I don't sound good no matter what.
that's awesome.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and there's fucking 25 people in front of you, and you're
Right.
like, yeah, and your amp isn't even getting past the drum set, dude.
Oh,
You're like,
man.
oh no.
Definitely sounds good behind me.
Well,
that's for sure.
we are
In my
still
bedroom
here.
on my dresser, that
like-
thing sounds awesome. Dude.
In my room, it's
Turns out when it's
in my
loud.
closet. What is it? Because I'm a closet guitarist.
when it's on the floor behind the drum set, you can't hear it at all. Oh,
Can't do
shit.
nothing about it when you're on stage.
Is that why
either.
these other guys
No.
have these?
Show
No,
must
you
go
gotta
on.
play a show, yeah.
Show must go on.
Always,
So-
dude, I don't give a shit if I have to go up there in my underwear on a broken acoustic. I'll fucking.
Man, I wonder if that's. I wonder if that's. I mean, obviously, it is a common thing between musicians because I've always, we had those days, but I don't know. Maybe it was just
Yeah.
me. I thought, it's a special breed. Like I played shitty gear for a long time.
Yeah.
You guys know that struggle?
Yes.
I played
Yeah.
shitty gear for
I
a
kinda
long
been
there.
fucking
Dude, I
time,
don't have a
dude.
Josh is like, screw you guys. I have heady gear all day.
Yeah, Josh is killing me on beers, dude. I think this is still my first one.
No, I think you're on two.
Oh yeah, my first one's down
Yep,
there. You're
yep.
right.
I've had 3.
So yeah,
Three or
that's
four.
that's wild, man.
I don't know.
That's a really good perspective. That kind of blew my mind. Maybe I was so fucking anxious because I had real.
I
But-
don't want to play comfortably because my gear sucks.
and you know how it sounds
I
when you're in
can't play
front of
comfortably.
other people. In your
Yeah.
closet, you're like, I'm shredding.
Yeah.
The distortion on this Spider Line 6 is sick. Okay. And then you're going to step in front of a crowd and somebody else has got a pedal board with an Ibanez Screamer, as you were saying earlier.
Tube Screamer.
Yeah, I have a
shout out Ibanez, please sponsor me.
What's that?
Please, PRS.
Yeah.
Which it's funny, we are all kind of, well, at least Ryan and I are super into bands. I play Paul Reed Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys my head is horse? PRS.
Yeah.
No, not yet. But
dude, that PRS rig that you play is fucking sick.
The Sanzero.
I played that. I played that at Rockstar before you
knows
bought
the
it.
potential of that
No,
thing
I
yet.
bought it online.
Oh, did you?
Dude,
what?
this is a fucked up.
Tell him about the head.
Oh,
dude.
yes.
So
I played the one that Ryan had down at Rockstar. That was a
there's
PRS.
American Music Supply and there's Sweetwater. I went with Sweetwater because, for whatever reason, when I called them,
Sweetwater's the shit.
They were a little bit heavier.
Shout out. What up, Sweetwater?
So they delivered the first tube amp. I save up.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
I save up so much money. Oh, no. Then I finally buy it, and then they're like, all right, dog, like 6 weeks from now, you get your heady amp. I'm like,
6 weeks.
So it finally comes in 6 weeks later, whatever it was. I don't care how long it was, but to me, it was
eternity.
Like waiting for Christmas when you're 8 years old.
Yeah, of course it was.
And so
you checking the tracking every day.
We plug it in. I'm like,
nothing.
Derek, what's it supposed to do? And he's like, well, it should turn on. And I'm
make
like,
noise.
Well, it did turn on. He's like,
Oh, the light didn't even.
The light didn't even turn on. So he's looking at the light, and I'm in the back. He's like, turn on the switch. I'm like, it didn't even turn on, nothing. So I call him. I mean, obviously mad as hell. Like, I requested this day off. I had plans to play guitar from 11 o'clock in the morning until my fingers bled, okay?
This is my revolution, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
this is it. My life is about to change today.
It didn't happen.
And it didn't turn on? What was wrong with it?
Didn't happen.
Was it like bad circuit board
I had to send
it
in. I mean, and have you ever had a package a head?
My 412 came in fucking UPS, dude. I had to go pick it up at the shop because they wouldn't put it on the truck.
Second one came back.
Jeez.
So it plugged in. It turned on. Yeah. No sound. So then I called the tech. He's like, all right, we'll plug it into the back end.
You're like, no shit.
He's like, okay, so you pass through the tubes. Is there sound? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, that means the tubes are shot. Second one. This was after they had sent it back.
The tubes are shot? Are you fucking kidding me?
The third one comes in.
It's a brand new amp.
The third one comes in. PRS Sanzero 50-watt tube amp that I'm just...
He said it like he knew it was there, though. You know what I mean? Oh, tubes are shot.
The tubes are shot.
Yeah, oh, shit. Yeah. Send it back then.
What?
Again.
Third one comes in, no light. Everybody tells me, give up on Sweetwater, give up on that amp,
give up on PRS.
That's what you wanted was the Marshall.
Yeah.
And
you want a
like,
JCM 800, just fucking go get one, dude.
I said I want what I fucking want at this point.
Yeah.
You get denied this many times. I
Good
already
for you,
paid
though,
for it.
dude.
Give it to me. And the fourth one came in, and it's just so crazy. It goes from a kid at Christmas to a dude at the DMV line.
No shit.
It's
dude.
just like,
wow,
my what? To like, this is better fucking be here. I have every fucking thing I need. I have the fucking tap. We're plugging it in. Nobody
I got my
touched
water bill.
any light
I got
switches.
my fucking sanitation shit. I got
light turned on. We were all like, yeah. And then I had to go to work or something, so I only had 15 minutes to play the guitar. I was late to work that day, obviously.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I would have been too.
That first time you hit it and you hear a tube.
You're
like when I went through, she was pretty too. I had never heard it that warm before.
Yeah.
Or that loud. You were playing through a 210 Marshall or something like that.
110 Marshall.
110 Marshall, and you went to a 410 PRS with a tube head. Yeah, you're talking.
Yeah. Dude, that's
stepping it up.
Similar.
And his pedal board went crazy too.
Similar experience.
Yeah. What actually happened though is I had two pedal boards. And then once the tubes got into the play, I just throw them away.
Why you need all that? Yeah.
Most of that was a tone chaser.
Let that tone.
Sure.
And now that we got there, it's naturally warm.
What speakers are in that cab?
They're
vintage 30s.
Oh, I know this.
Creambacks.
Nope.
Vintage
They're the
30s?
headiest ones on the fucking market, bro.
Vintage 30s.
Yes.
Yeah. Celestial vintage 30s.
Celestial. Thank you.
V30s, baby.
I gotta go. I'd be like texting Brian over here, like
those are the greatest speakers.
Those are the greatest speakers.
And I think my dream setup, and it's what I'm actually working towards right now for my guitar rig. I love my cab, but it's got.
What are you?
It's a fucking 412 line 6, so it's got line 6 speakers.
Line 6 is fucking heady for a heavy overdrive.
Yeah.
I've played through them.
It does okay. It does all right. I
But
want
it's not what
I want 2 vintage 30s in there, and I want 2 creambacks in there. They're both
What are
Celestian.
you talking about?
Celestian creambacks and
Why
Celestian
would you do
vintage
that?
30s. Why not?
Just so you had a unique tone that nobody else had?
Yeah, I want it.
Okay, fuck, I'm jealous. I want 3 in 1.
Yeah.
They make them now. It's normal.
It's
Two
actually
on top, 2 on bottom, like
cross pattern.
Just cross
pattern.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do 2 vintage 30s and then 2 creambacks.
You get bass cabs now with like 2 15s, 2 10s, 2 8s.
Yeah, it's really good for. It's really good for.
Why would you do that for bass though? If you're trying to push
if you
air?
want, because you can push air and top end all in one cab.
You can blend tones. You can blend tones.
You can do so much.
If you're playing live, and you're going to notice this now for every live band you ever go to now, you're going to notice this. Any like professional live band that you go see now, you're gonna watch for it.
Yeah.
Watch their guitar cabs and look at how many mics they have on it. They'll probably have 1 or 2. They'll probably have at minimum 2 mics, and they'll be in different spots. The reason why is because they're miking a vintage 30 and a creamback, or a vintage 30 and an Eminence.
So they can
or
EQ
something.
them differently.
They just sound different, so they can blend them. So if vintage 30s are known for having kind of like a darker, they're the like you said, quintessential metal speaker.
Yeah.
Vintage 30 is like the metal speaker. That's what you put in a fucking high gain. Like any type, and I don't know, they're just fucking. It's like industry standard speaker. Vintage 30 is like the sound you're familiar with on.
But then versus the Celestion,
versus the creamback, the Celestion creamback, which is a little bit brighter. So you can take.
But that's kind of what I like.
So you can take 2 mics and you can blend the tones from 2 different speakers and get a little bit of each speaker in the mix, and you have just this fucking.
Dude, it's a rabbit hole.
You have a dreamsicle tone, dude. It's fucking insane.
Absolutely. Yeah, split
it's really common nowadays, especially in recording, in recording. And even if like the cab that you have, you know what's fucking crazy is no speaker is exactly like another speaker. So if we were to bring your cab in here and get guitar tones off of it, we could mic each speaker individually, and each speaker would give us a different tone.
I have no
EQ,
fucking idea about
no
that.
volume changes, nothing. Just putting the mic on each different speaker, they're going to sound semi-tonally a little bit different.
I hear that Ampeg is actually one of the hardest to find the sweet spot for.
It is. Ampegs are tough. I mic'd a 410 for one of our demos, and it was fucking brutal.
That's the only reason I didn't want to get it, because I love running analog.
So you know what I did? I actually ended up having to split it with a DI, and I used the low end from the DI and the treble from the Ampeg because I couldn't find the sweet spot on the cab.
In which case, I would just get the Ampeg SVT DI pedal and get the exact same tone you would get out of it. Run DI straight to you.
One of those fucking the head that Brandon plays. He plays that PF 500 Ampeg PF 500. Those little series Ampeg heads.
Oh yeah,
holy shit! The DI on
Class
those
Ds are sweet,
dude.
man.
The DIs on those are fucking brutal.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Dude, we said this would happen too. We were like, we're gonna talk tone. We're gonna talk.
Greengrove's been lost for like 10 minutes.
Can we talk drums, man? Can we talk some drums?
I mean, we could talk some drums. Like, I know all the shit.
I'll go take a pee break. Actually, if that's
you first.
I'm actually really impressed. All right,
you
so
go first.
Josh was in here on the North Grant podcast, and I think he pissed at this point.
Urinator.
At this point, Josh had gone 14 and a half times. And a half time because he got up and I gave him shit and sat back down.
I had a little bit of beer to drink that day.
You got dude. Well, okay. So in the camera right now, all of your beer cans are masked by my microphone. You can't see a single one of them. Yeah.
I gotta
Just put it in here somewhere. We'll fucking.
I gotta start a tower like Sean was doing.
Oh yeah.
Right across the hall, Jebby, for the bathroom.
Some extra ones down here.
Sean had a killer tower last time we were here.
Oh, and then you knocked it over.
I did knock it over. Trying to go pee.
Did you guys end up watching that podcast? Did you watch it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We drank some Rolling Rock and watched the podcast.
That was a fun
Relived
time,
it a little bit.
That was a great, yeah, man. Like that was one of those ones where I looked down after a while and was like, holy fuck, dude, we've been talking for a while, man.
Right.
Idea we were talking. That's kind of how it works in here, man. You kind of get off on tangents and you just start rolling.
And it's cool that you're like friends with all your musician people, you know. So it's like.
And honestly,
fun.
I've got people coming in that I'm not really, I'm not really familiar with Ryan. I know him,
right?
But
yeah,
it's not like I'm not gonna, you're more than welcome to. I mean, you're a band kid just like I am,
right?
We're doing this shit together.
Just different
band geek for life.
That's the whole. That's the whole shameless self promotion. That's the whole reason I'm doing this, everyone. I've plugged it every single time I've done this. Like, I'm just trying to do this to let everyone know that there's a fucking music scene happening in Casper again, and it's not a like pretentious like bullshit thing. Like, there are local bands in Casper that aren't fucking, like, no offense like Chauncey Williams and like the bands that are like making it, you know, like the big names in Casper and Wyoming and shit. But there are like underground bands that are we're doing shit, man. Like things are happening. There's a fucking movement. If you're a band and you're coming through Wyoming and you're looking for other bands, chances are at this point in the game, no matter what genre is you're bringing through, someone's gonna hook up with you.
Absolutely,
it's wild, dude. Right. That hasn't happened in a long fucking for a long time. It was like, oh, what's coming through Casper? You know, if some like this Friday for the blue stuff that's coming through, J.R. Jones, Bones of J.R. Jones.
Yep.
If that were to come through like 4 years ago, it'd have been like, there's only metal bands here, and there's only 3 of them, and that's the only bands that are here.
Right.
No offense to that, but it's just one of those things where it's like the diversity is
picking back up.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's real. I'm liking it.
Yeah, and venues are starting to get more susceptible to having bands in there that are maybe not so like not ideal for those settings, you know? Like
yeah, absolutely.
The Bourgeois Pig. Shout out to the Bourgeois Pig. I haven't played there yet, but I've been there several times, man, and that's a cool place.
System Restore just played there.
Yeah. Did you go to that show?
I didn't.
It was the Shivers, System Restore, and Rig Time.
I couldn't make it, dude.
I plugged it on my last podcast, yeah. I didn't make it to that one either because I was doing this shit. Sorry, guys. I did see the Shivers at the Firefly though, and
that's the night I was sick.
They were fucking great, man. They're cool, and I think I'll give them even a little bit more promotion. I think they're gonna play for the Toasters in December. Was it December? Might have been next year, but
I think I heard about that though.
At the Gaslight, yeah. Fucking A, man.
Hell yeah.
Good for you guys, dude. You guys.
System Restore. I fucking love those guys so much. Yeah.
They just released their. Was it an EP or was it just a single? Because they went down to the blasting room, didn't they, and did some work?
Yeah, pretty sure they were at the blasting room.
Yeah. So did they do a whole EP down there? I think they did.
I think so.
I think they did an EP, man.
I know that they just released a new music video recently. That shit's badass.
Yeah. I watched that. I watched through that one too, man. And I think did Calvin do that with the Saturn Return?
Calvin, maybe.
Martinez,
yeah, I know Calvin.
Yeah,
I don't. Maybe he did.
He's been doing all the music video stuff.
What?
Yeah, shout out.
I need to get a hold of that
I was
kid.
gonna say something, but then I heard his name.
He's a good guy, dude.
You're good, man.
Calvin's the shiznit.
Yeah, he does great work, man. He does really, really great work, and I don't know. It's he's been doing a lot of. I need to get a hold of him honestly because Records is trying to do a music video for one of our songs, and apparently he's got the gear. Like he shows up to shows, man, and sometimes he rolls in with these cameras that are like they've got these big fucking screens attached to them.
Like they're like more than your life.
Oh, it's like this huge, this thing, man. I'm like, I didn't even know cameras got that big.
They can get pretty pricey too, man.
I'm sure he's got. I mean, I know the game, dude. I know how it goes investing into your craft and what you want to do.
It's a rabbit hole.
And then you know what really sucks about that rabbit hole is one day you decide like I'm pretty good at audio stuff. I could probably do some audio stuff, and then you're into another rabbit hole immediately.
Tone,
dude.
Video stuff is cool though. Calvin Martinez, awesome.
Yeah.
I really want to start doing some drum covers.
Ooh,
and start a personal channel for myself.
That'd be sick,
here
dude.
soon.
That'd be sick.
Dude,
yeah.
Like they do the video overlays. You'd be great at
that. Yeah. I really want to start doing stuff like that.
Do you know Luke Holland?
Yeah, he's a great drummer.
Goodness gracious, dude.
Luke Holland's badass.
Holy moly, dude.
I think some of my favorite drummers in the past and now are probably Thomas Hawk. I hope I'm saying that right. That's from Meshuggah. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I talked about that with Colton and Jordan on the Hated podcast. Dude, their song "Bleed." It's like one of the only songs I've ever heard from them. But
dude,
like
that song's badass. Yeah. Like I can play some of that song.
Can you really?
I can.
Whoa!
Bleed is the shit.
I'm gonna have to witness that because that shit is mechanical.
Hell yeah!
Like, it's not even robotic. It's straight up mechanical. Dude. Like it's just. It's like a fucking engine running, dude. That's what I think of when I hear that shit because it's just like it's so
a sick
perfect
rhythm.
Oh, it's so sick, dude. And I guess if you have the rhythm down, it's all about rhythms, man.
Yeah, especially with drums. I mean, I have the privilege of not needing to like memorize like 100 different notes and where they go.
Yeah.
But
I just get rhythm down and it's muscle memory from there. It's so much easier. If you ask me,
he's got a point. It does come down to a lot of muscle memory for drums.
Same with the guitar.
Once you have once you have a pattern down, the thing about I think
I have to practice a scale to a point where I'm Ultra Instinct Goku Steez.
I think one of the big differentiators between the two is with drums. like the amount of space you have to hit accurately on a guitar when you're doing your muscle memory is tiny. Like when I'm doing muscle memory on drums, my smallest drum is a cymbal that's like this big around, right? So like, I think it's a lot easier to hit what you're going for. So it's a lot easier to just kind of like let it happen, and you don't really, like any like generic beat that you have to do. Do you even think about it anymore? I mean, it's just kind of like
a lot of times it just naturally happens. Yeah,
it's just like there's not a lot of work that you have to put into it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm sure there's like a correlation between the two sets of like how that all works.
I guess to me it's irrelevant. I'm a little bit spoiled now where I don't practice as much anymore because like that riff just doesn't sound the same without that snare lead.
Because you're a fucking bitch and you don't practice anymore.
Yeah,
no, it's but the snare lead in and then the boom boom and then we all hit the root note together.
Yeah.
So for me, just playing like a C to a D is just so fucking lame.
Yeah, for sure.
Compared to that C to the D that's flavored with salt and pepper all over the place. What I'm just saying, I guess, is your instrumentation is different than the chemistry that can hit.
Sure.
Because I don't think any instrument's easier or harder than another, and I don't think people are just naturally better at something than others.
Piano's harder than everything.
Piano is harder.
I can agree on that. I can agree on that.
I took 2 years of piano in college.
You're doing drum on this hand, and you're playing melody on this hand, and you're still having
and you have sustain pedals and damper pedals, and
you're still pedal boarding the whole time.
Dude.
So.
If you played drums in high school at NC, they made you learn piano too.
That's
from before you could be on like drumline or what?
Because the
just a side curriculum.
The keyboard has the same note structure as a xylophone and a marimba. 3 flat notes accompanied by all natural notes.
Yep.
So it's like 3 flat notes and then 2 and then 3 and then 2. It's the same thing as a marimba and a xylophone. So if you can play any of those, you can play a piano.
I did 4-mallet marimba at Casper College for a little while.
Marimba's fun, dude.
4-mallet?
4-mallet marimba, yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, we had to. That was what we were learning.
That's fucking pretty badass.
Why don't you bust that out on stage?
I never got that good at marimba.
But I don't remember any of it, man. I don't remember any of it. That was like 5 years ago. I don't remember shit.
I think I could still play my basic scales on a marimba.
Yeah. I can, and one of the reasons why I think piano's harder than any other instrument is I can sit down on instruments that I haven't played in a long time, outside of the piano, and be able to play them pretty well. Like I didn't play drums for a few years because I was doing the record stuff really, really heavily.
Interesting.
Sat back down on my drum set, dude, and for the first time that I actually got serious. Decided. I think it was when GMT decided to do the Reform thing, and it was like, shit, I need to learn how to play these songs again. So set the drum set up and sat down, and it was like, you're rusty, but I didn't lose it.
No.
When
it's like riding a bike.
I took piano for 2 years straight at Casper College. The day I fucking left that college, dude, I swear to God, like 48 hours later, I had forgotten 60% of what I learned in that motherfucking building. I don't know what it is about piano, dude. It's so fucking hard. And like, I'm a percussionist. And everyone's like, "Oh, you play drums? Piano's gonna be easy because you got the dexterity and all that." And I'm like, "Fuck that!
That's crazy.
Piano's so fucking hard, dude."
So, like, that's some Joe Rogan podcast shit. Like, what is that in the mind?
I don't know.
That makes it so, because it's true. Like, it's easier for me to learn guitar.
Maybe it was because I wasn't as interested in piano. Maybe it was because like I really, really loved drums, so I retained that information very well. But I liked piano, but it wasn't like I wasn't pursuing it, so I wasn't like I have to get really good at this. So once somebody wasn't forcing me to do it, I was just like, maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe that's just free will, personal choice kind of thing.
Could be.
Where you're like, fuck piano,
I don't care though. Whatever. Anytime anybody asks like, what's the hardest thing? Because I'm a multi-musician thing. Like, what's the hardest thing you can play? I'm like, piano. Piano is so fucking hard, dude.
I don't know. My sister played the oboe.
I don't know anything about woodwinds. I know nothing about.
Shout out to my sister, baby girl. How you doing?
I know nothing about wind instruments. Nothing about those. My sister played the flute for a long time.
I've been bringing the flute back into it. I know it.
What do you mean you've been bringing
that band that was like Gruner
I've
Brothers
been playing, the
they
Young Guns.
Yeah,
they
is
did
that who
those
that
Jethro
was?
Tull covers.
Shout out to the
Huge.
Young Guns. Oh, that's what I was
Jethro
They
saying.
Tull.
were so heady, dude. When
They had
they
a Tool
started,
cover?
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I know exactly where this is going. Yeah, you know.
Hell yeah.
Children,
Fuck, dude. Locomotive
Yeah,
breath.
yeah.
So I pulled it out the other day. I've been using the
watch
loop
DVDs of
pedal
that shit
on
with
the
my
guitar,
dad.
and then I'll fucking just play the flute over it. And I was like, I don't know if this is cool, but I mean,
It's
in my
something,
mind,
right?
if you know how to do something, no
Dude,
matter what people say,
that guy-
fucking do it.
That guy knew how to play
And then he
flute,
was like-
and it was
yeah.
sick. It was sick as
and it
fuck,
proved
dude.
to me that what are you doing? Just
It was sick as fuck, dude.
it was so tight, and
Yeah.
he was nailing. He was doing like the
Yeah, you're
Ron-
watching a master. Of
right, the
the
Ron
instrument,
Burgundy
yeah.
though. Remember when
Yeah.
he's like, "I'm really not prepared." He pulled that
And-
flute out of his fucking sleeve.
How about
dude.
all those guys fucking switching instruments mid-song?
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
really cool. We talked about
That-
doing
I-
something like that.
No shit.
That's where I
was
got that
sick.
idea.
That was sick as fuck.
Thinking of Jethro Tull, yeah.
Shout out
Switching
to are
gears,
those
yeah.
guys
the-
local?
The Young Guns.
What's their
yeah.
names
the
again?
Young Guns
Young
local?
Guns.
The old boy is from
Shout out to the Young Guns. Look them up. They might be on Facebook. I don't know anything about them. I think it's the first time I've seen them,
he's
dude.
16 and
Young
19.
Guns did that?
The drummers.
Yeah, they did that at Gruner Brothers just like 2
Yeah.
days ago, Saturday night.
awesome.
They call it Gruner Brothers Funk.
3
so
days
they would,
ago.
they would, we talked about doing this when we were with
Dude,
Derek.
it was so
about
sick.
switching instruments because
They
Derek
get
can
into the
play
middle of a
guitar,
song and do
Ryan
this-
can play drums. I actually can
Can
slap
you?
a bass a little bit,
I don't
but
know
I mean
shit
not
about-
like Ryan. You know, obviously I'm not gonna step up there. And
But they were the same way. They, you could tell that like they all had their forte, but they could do everything. You know?
That's
right,
cool.
and they would rotate.
They'd get
and
into
the
like
song was
it was
different
so
every
cool
time.
because they'd get into like this little jammy session in the middle of a song, and then before you know it, like they'd all be looking at each other. You know, and there's three of them, right? It's the drummer, the bass player, and the piano player. And they would all like they'd start looking at each other, and everyone would start getting quieter, and they'd all be on one note.
Yeah.
See, but dude, as a three-piece,
So
we
then the
do
bass
have
player would
that.
take his bass off, and he'd walk over to the piano, and the guy's playing the piano, and before you know it, it's all. And then the guy on the piano gets up, and he walks over to the drummer, and the drummer's going on the hi-hat, and the piano player walks behind the drum set
They
and
never
grabs the
lost
drumstick
timing.
and goes.
Yeah, in the middle of song. Okay, that's
And then,
really
and then the
cool.
drummer walked
huge.
over to the bass player and picked up the bass and doing.
Yeah, it's not after a song, during a
and they were back into it
Correct.
again. I was like, "That's so fucking sick!" It was so
very,
cool.
That's very cool.
It was a lot
That
of
is
fun.
fucking awesome.
I was sitting at the table just like
I saw band L1011.
Just watching it all
You
go
guys
I
know
was,
down.
that?
I was so
Yeah.
enthralled with
Yeah.
what was happening. It was amazing.
The Young Guns.
Here in Casper, right?
The Young
Like,
Guns.
yeah.
I have mad respect for that kind of shit, dude. Mad respect.
I
for
don't
Yeah,
know if
that's
it was just
badass.
technical, but I love it.
I really wanna learn a new
Lotus,
instrument.
Explosions in the Sky. PMP has Animals as Leaders. We were listening to this new one they showed me, Chan.
Yeah,
Sean's
Chun.
good.
Yeah, Chun.
Apparently, I missed the
Incredible musician.
memo on that instrumental band, so I got to go check it
I
out.
told you about him a couple times.
Yeah, we brought
could
up
be
all the instruments.
Joe Bonamassa.
You're like,
Bro, I have a Joe
Penguins?
Bonamassa sticker on that speaker
Penguins?
right there. That red and white
We've
sticker
been
is a Joe
compared to
Bonamassa
Joe
sticker.
Bonamassa,
Yeah.
which is like such an
Slayer
amazing
guitar player.
remember when I
dude,
showed you
like,
Joe
amazing
Satriani?
guitar
Ooh,
player.
you were like, dude, really? My dad
Joe's-
told me about Joe Satriani.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I always thought he was
Dude, Joe
this old-
Satriani?
fucking
dude,
freak.
come on. Goodness gracious, dude.
If only I could get that good. I
It's
will.
insane.
I
Some of these
will.
guys, yeah, that's the thing about like, and those guys are like old rockers, man. Like,
Still.
they're fucking old rockers, and they're still. They get on stage, and you're like, are you fucking with me right now, dude?
Dude.
This isn't real. This isn't fucking real. That's
Some of these
bullshit.
new guys got mad jobs too, though,
Oh my
man.
God,
Some of
dude.
these new guys got mad jobs.
Is it making you feel old yet?
It's making me
fuck
feel
you,
like
I'm
an
30.
awful musician.
Fuck you. I'm.
Fuck you, Josh.
It-
I'm
it-
30.
It's making me feel like I need to practice every day for the rest of my life.
Josh has got me by a few years, and then those guys have Josh by a few years now. It sucks, dude. Kudos to
all goes
kudos
around.
to all the young guns that are out there killing it. Keep it up, boys.
Santana
and
didn't
girls
make it till
and
he was
girls,
older,
like keep
too.
it up. What's that?
Santana didn't make it till he was a little bit older, right? He was in his late 20s or something.
I
Santana?
have no idea.
Carlos?
Carlos.
The fucking
Carlito.
bro.
He's like
the Colonel didn't make it. The Colonel didn't make KFC chicken until he was 36.
No, there you go.
So that's all you need to know right there.
That's what I'm thinking about right now. Some chicken.
He didn't
Let's
come
get
up
on
with
that.
his whatever 23 herbs and spices until he was like 36 years old. So
Until he had a lawyer.
right until he had a fucking LLC and a lawyer.
Right.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm selling this
Yeah.
shit, dude. People are putting that on chicken.
Man, all right, we need some food.
Is it time?
Josh
Josh is
thought about
calling it.
bringing some
Chicken.
grub.
Josh
we
is
didn't
calling it.
do it.
I made a badass dinner tonight, dude. I'm just waiting for it. I'm gonna get back
I still
to
have
it.
to go.
Oh, you made it and you haven't eaten it?
I baked a big old Atlantic Ocean salmon fillet.
Oh,
It's like
God.
seriously
Get
just
outta
big.
here.
Cut it in
God.
half.
Is
Put it in 2 glass pans. Got the butter, the seasonings, all that
What
shit.
did you season it with?
Cumin, a poultry season, and then some salt.
There better be some
some
fucking
pepper.
garlic on that bitch.
It's
Oh,
always
dude.
garlic.
I actually
I was
chopped
gonna say,
up
if you
some
ain't
fresh
garlic,
garlic.
There you go.
I chopped up
Attaboy.
some fresh
Garlic,
garlic
like
and put it on there. I chopped up some onions and put it on
Everything,
there,
everything.
and some green peppers around it.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
Decorated it
garlic's
with
good.
some carrots too, butter and
Delicious.
shit.
Fucking A.
100%.
I took a
Fucking A.
bite before I left.
All right, now I'm fucking hungry, dude.
Damn it.
Okay.
We made it. We made about an hour and a half, boys.
Right on.
Really?
Yeah,
So
we
we're
did.
good on
Good.
time.
Oh yeah, dude, we're good.
Did we accomplish anything?
No, absolutely.
Now,
not.
Yeah.
I know that the boys want me to get out of here, but I have prepared a list of questions, surprise,
Have you?
aimed at Matt Greeley.
Oh shit. Okay, hang on. Before we do that, let me get my plugs out for things coming up. I don't have many, so
I thought we would switch that up, but you do yours. Plugs are very important. Support the local scene. The scene is back.
the only ones that I know of. Actually, it might be the only one that I know of. No, there's a show December. I always wing it. There's a show. I believe it's December 12th. At Staggers Bar. I think it's Staggers Bar. It's North Grant and a few other bands. I
Hell
can't-
yeah.
Huge. I haven't seen you guys.
That's
play
yeah.
since.
Fuck. I can't forget. You
My other
goddamn
band.
sluts.
I'm
There's a bunch of sluts in
Rhymes
this room. I
with-
forget.
The first time I saw Josh play, and this is a true story. We were
What? So hold up. Is that so? What show is that?
rhyme sync.
The first time you saw me play?
Yes.
No.
Alcoba.
What's the show I'm plugging for
Oh,
December?
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's the Stagger show.
Is it December 12th?
Yeah, it's the 12th.
Okay.
December 12th.
December 12th at Staggers, North Grant, and two
can't
other bands.
remember
I
who's
can't
gonna
remember.
be there.
I can't remember.
Come on, you're.
I
playing
have
with
too
them.
many. I have too many bands to worry about. I can't think of this
So
shit.
anyway,
Don't
this
forget
time.
about the 18th though.
That one.
right?
That one, and then the Toy Drive on December 18th with Poetry No Prose at Gruner
Yeah.
Brothers Brewery. Get a hold of any of these boys for more information on that.
We'll
And
be
then
making a flyer.
this Friday, Gruner Brothers Brewery, Ford and Fossil, and the Bones of J.R. Jones. And then if anybody's going to be in Douglas on Saturday, myself and Jason Ford are going to be doing an acoustic set from 7 to 9 at Blend Coffee Company.
Where
So,
the fuck is that?
no
Nice.
idea. No idea. I'm driving down to Douglas.
We love coffee shops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blend Coffee Company. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
Blend
like
Coffee
fun.
Company, 7 to
Right.
9. Me and Jason are just going to be song switching from 7 to 9. We're just going to do what we did on
Which
the
is
live
crazy.
feed.
You've
so.
seen
Right
ads.
on.
Yeah, you do it all, bro.
Thanks, man. All right, that's all I have, man. Get at me with your questions.
All right, so a little bit of precursor. You've always been on the scene since I was a kid. We've been talking about Zen, right? With
yeah,
the dreads.
Zen Peterson, man.
Now,
Shout out, my
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
I like to consider there are two different eras. There's pre-Zen, Zen, and post-Zen. During the heyday of Zen, what was the best show you ever seen? Mine would be the Boss
Oh.
Martians at the Legion, the old school Legion. It blew my mind that, and I was like a little impressionable teen. It's a good question. I want to hear your answer.
Oh, wow.
A shout out to Boss Martians.
Straight hard shout out to Zen Peterson again, man. If you ever come across these things, dude.
He's out there.
Fucking-
We need to bring him back. He's
Yeah.
like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
The Force
he's out there
needs him.
somewhere, man. If you ever come across these things, dude, you shaped my entire childhood, dude. Thank you. Dude, the first show I ever played with Cherryvale, the band that I was in, you probably remember Cherryvale.
That's
Yeah, I played drums for them. Gabe Hathaway, Trevin Siegel, Freddie Gossman. What up,
That's
boys?
a name drop.
What up,
dude.
boys?
Hey, boys.
The first show I ever played with Cherryvale was a Zen Peterson unlevel production show, and we opened for Lorraine Drive
Where
at the Legion. Opened for Lorraine
Legion.
Drive at the Legion,
Used to be
dude.
so huge.
Yeah, that was where some of the best shows ever happened.
What happened to that?
Absolutely.
I think, and I might be a little bit biased, but I think the best show I ever saw under Zen Peterson's reign was Census Fail and Bayside at the fairgrounds, at the industrial building at the fairgrounds. Good Morning Tonight got to open that
You
show.
boys ever got to see that shit? I never saw
It was the first show that I ever played with Good Morning Tonight. I just gotten into the band, dude, and like 4 weeks after I got into the band, Ian
Who are
comes
the
out.
members of Good Morning Tonight?
It's the members of Good Morning Tonight. Well, they went through a few different lineup changes. So they
Okay.
started out. I'll go through all three of them. They started out, or maybe there's four, but Stephen Lemp and Ian DeLapp have always been the two founding members. They're the two guitar players. Their original bass player was Rob Buckaloo. Their original drummer was Eric Lutness. Their original singer was Brian Deesberg. I don't know if those names mean, if you guys know any of those guys.
I really don't.
It's like early scene days. Yeah. Early scene days. So then they went through a lineup change. I came on drums, so Matt Greenlee on drums.
Yeah,
and then
shout out to Matt Greenlee.
And then Rob ended up moving down to Texas, so we had Russell Studheit on bass and Derek Hepner on lead. Yeah, Russell Studheit. You know Russell, don't you?
I know some Studheit.
Yeah, so anyways, Russell Studheit on bass and Derek Hepner on lead vocal. Shout out, Derek. Hope everything's going well down in Colorado. Shout out, Russell. Hope everything's going well in Cheyenne. And then Russell ended up moving down to Cheyenne, and so it was me on drums, and then Luis Romero on bass, Steve, Ian, and Derek. That was the final lineup for Good Morning Tonight. Wow. Okay. And then Derek moved to Colorado. So that was kind of the end of Good Morning. That's when we did the Declan Dean Showdown, the very first one after Steve and Sam's first kid had passed away. Rest in peace. Wow. But we did the first show there, and that was kind of like the end of Good Morning Tonight. It was kind of like, this is our last one, because Derek had to move and was doing that thing. So we decided to reform, not as Good Morning Tonight, because we wanted to do new music and not new members, but new music, and kind of like just refresh, kind of get on a different level. So we reformed with
re-cue the levels.
Yeah. We reformed with Lane Dennison on vocals. So now we're Presley Avenue.
Lane's heady.
With Lane Dennison.
So
Lane's badass.
He's like us, man. He's a jack of all trades, dude.
He's a good guy.
He can fucking play guitar and sing. Shout outs to the Bearded Bastards and Brian Gray.
Dude,
Jesus Christ, dude.
Fucking Bearded
Jesus
Bastards.
Christ, dude. Those guys were fucking phenomenal. They were part of the inspiration why me and Alex started records, because they were playing acoustic shows.
Not
and
gonna lie,
me and Alex
the
were
reason
like,
I was like, dude, if they're out there fucking playing,
me and Alex were like,
Wonderbar, where the fuck
these two dudes can go out there and play 2 acoustic guitars and sing. Look at the people they're getting, and they're making money, and they've got fucking free drinks. I'm like, I want to do that.
Shredding.
So we started doing that. You know what I mean?
Fucking
So
it's great.
That's all you got to do. Get out there and do it.
Other musicians should be inspiration.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. So yeah. Long story short.
Okay.
Long story short. Census Fail and Bayside at the industrial building at the fairgrounds.
Huge.
On-Level Productions. Shout out to Zen Peterson. I got to meet Buddy, and we smoked a bunch of pot with the sound engineer for Bayside, and he was like the coolest motherfucker I've ever met in my entire. He was so cool, dude.
Nice.
Sound engineer's always awesome.
It was a dream, dude. It was a fucking dream. It was amazing. So, anyways, any other questions? Or was that it?
I had another one, but then we started going on.
We got on a tangent.
Yeah.
That's all right, man. If not, it's not a big deal.
And actually, I think the other one, because I had seen you play a lot, so I was like, "What's your favorite instrument?" But now I think I know it would be the drums.
I'm a drummer by trade, for sure. If it came down to it and I had to pick, I would definitely pick drums, because it's just, man, there's something about it, dude.
Okay. And then the last question, besides Josh and Ryan, who do you think is the coolest member of Poetry No Prose?
I'd have to say Derek Vigil, probably.
Fair enough.
Does that work?
I thought he was going to say Corey
Gamrod,
which is a shout out to him.
Shout out, Corey.
He's our light guy. We do a lot of productions.
Damn.
Cool as fuck, too.
That was cold.
Burn.
Cold blood.
Hey, man, you asked the question. You came on the podcast.
I knew, and I wanted it to be a mean question. So,
cool, dudes. We did
thanks for having
an
us.
hour and a half. Thank you guys so much for coming in, man.
Bro.
Share this shit. End of every podcast, please support local music. Go to shows, talk to bands. There's a movement happening.
Ryan
in
at
Casper.
Rockstar.
Yeah, anyone that's involved in the music scene, man,
Firefly.
we're on the move, and we're gonna make this
Garage.
shit happen. So let's.
Bros. I'm just saying, there's.
Jibby said this was gonna be the shout out podcast. So like that's where we're at, man.
Who else? Oh,
So-
Zach Schomer.
Ed Bassmaster.
Doesn't he have a show coming up, or was that tonight? Or isn't it Wednesday?
It might be tomorrow.
I think it's Wednesday night at Frontier. My man Schomer's got a show.
Schomer's killing it, dude. Keep it
I
up.
want to shred
Keep it up.
over Schomer so bad. I just want him to.
Chomers.
And I just be like,
There's your plug, Schomer. There's your plug. And I want to get those guys. I want to get
So
you
hit
on
him up
there.
for
I want
a
to get
rhythm
Chase.
guitarist.
I want to get Zach Schomer, Chase Sandoval. I want to get
Why
a
not?
lot of guys
Why
in here,
not?
man. I just want to talk to everybody and spread the word, dude. Let's spread the word.
dude,
So
and thanks for going. Yeah, thanks.
Fucking
for
A,
doing
dude.
I think it's a heady idea.
fucking A. So
Fun.
thank you guys for coming in again. And,
Much love.
We'll
Hey,
see you
thanks
guys
for
in a
having
week.
us.
I have So Called coming in next Saturday. We're going to
So
talk to them.
Called.
So
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
later, guys.
I'll peep it.